Hey, it's been a week. Yeah, been busy. NASA sounds the alarm on Asteroids, Great Pyramid of Giza headed towards Earth. And unfortunately, because of our communist government, as they are, they have now decided that there are certain things that can no longer be spoken about on Twitter and Fbook and ChinaTube. So you will have to follow the link below in order to get more information and get other information because it is what it is. It is uh, yeah, a system of technocrats that is running the show now. So, if you want more information regarding fireballs, the latest upload I have there is regarding that, where Mike from around the world is talking about that next month we are beginning to see the first approach or arrival of smaller rocks that is accompanied with larger rocks. And this is exactly what NASA is so concerned about. Well, we should be concerned because that is a game changer. Like the image here shows, if something like this happens to the surface of this planet, it don't matter if it hits the ground or it hits the ocean, it's going to be momentous. It's going to be devastating. It's going to change the way we live our life for a very, very long time. We were talking about a nuclear winter. In the case it hits ground, landmass, we will have a lot of fine dust particulates rising up in the atmosphere, up to the upper atmosphere, staying aloft for at least a decade. Plus, if it hit landmass, a bigger one, a lot of molten rock, because of the impact, the heat from the impact, would be frosted up into the air and landing on various places on the surface of the planet. And that will ignite fires everywhere. So it will be a firestorm. If it hits water, we are talking tsunamis that will take out coastlines. And I mean coastlines gone, erased, inundated, sandpaper to pieces. And at the same time, or the after effect of that will be we will have a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere blanketing the atmosphere so that the sunlight can't get in. And both scenarios, landmass or water, it will significantly drop the temperature on the surface of the planet. That don't mean that the Earth is not heating up from the inside, which it is, no matter what. Because these particles coming from outer space and from our sun would punch right through that into the Earth's core and heating it significantly. And then we will have more volcanic eruptions. We will have more earthquakes. We will have a scenario that will not be good. Then we're not talking about global warming in that case or climate change. Well, it will be climate change if something like this happened. But it will lead to crop failure on a worldwide scale. It would lead to millions of people dying of starvation. It will also lead to millions of people dying because they start acting like zombies in order to stay alive instead of getting a grip of what just took place. So I think, to be honest, all the crap that is going on with the communists and what happened in 2020 and what is still being perpetuated regarding 2020 and so many other things, I think that is mostly a distraction for what is actually coming. And what is coming has a more natural signature to it than man-made crap. Because all that's going on the surface of this planet, whether it's financial, whether it's political, whether it's sociological, it's all by design. keep us distracted, to keep us in fear. Well, there is a good reason for why it would be a good idea to be a little afraid of being hit by something like this. That is not a walk in the park. That's a game changer. It's a whole different can of worms, something like this. And we will have, according to scriptures, 2 impacts. So, let's go on. According to reports from NASA, an asteroid nearly as long as the Great Pyramid of Giza is tall will hurl its way towards Earth on Sunday, July the 25th. Well, that's freaking today. However, the giant rock poses no threat to the planet. NASA is currently monitoring the rock to learn more about the early solar system. BS. They're also studying it because if the asteroid's orbit were to change path, the asteroid could pose a potential risk to the planet. The asteroid, dubbed 2008 GO20, Game Over 20, will come in within 2.8 million miles of Earth on its nearest approach. It will be coming in hot and a whooping 18,000 miles per hour, according to reports. NASA estimates that flying rock to be everywhere from 380 to 720 feet across. Any asteroid larger than 490 feet across that is to be expected to contact Earth within 4.6 million miles is considered a potentially dangerous asteroid. For comparison, that distance is 19.5 times the span between our planet and the Moon. However, that distance pales in comparison to the closest known asteroid that has come close to Earth. That moment came August 16, 2020. On that day, 2020, QG flew just 1,830 miles above the Indian Ocean. Live Science sister site Space.com reported. NASA reports approaching asteroid poses no threat to Earth, yet according to NASA, this asteroid is potentially hazardous. As time goes on, gravitational pull on the planet might change the flying rock's orbital path, meaning it could cross into Earth's orbit. Per NASA's reports, a future collision with our world might be possible if that were to happen. In addition, it isn't the first time this specific asteroid had visited Earth's domain. According to NASA records, it made its closest approach on August 4, 1901, at the time that the asteroid was within 806,856 miles of our planet. Now, in 1901, they had no way in hell to measure the distance of that bloody rock. And are they really looking at the same rock? Come on, man. Following that instance, Earth had another close call when it flew by on July 31st, 1935. It was reported to be within 1.15 million miles of Earth. Some good news, this asteroid is not expected to be in our orbit until July 24, 2034. On that date, 2008 Game Over 20 will get as close as 3.5 million miles. Asteroids orbit the Sun and mostly live in the asteroid belt located between Mars and Jupiter's orbit. Asteroids are made of various rocks left over from the solar system's formation 4.5 billion years ago. That's not true. The asteroid belt is a former planet. And that has been written down by various cultures worldwide, ancient cultures. There were a planet there once. You see, we only got 9 planets, and that makes, if you look at chemistry, if you have an atom, meaning in the periodic table, and this atom has 10 orbiting electrons around the nucleus, it is considered to be a stable isotope. But if we have 9, it's unstable. It either wants to give one off or get one. And we can say that with pretty certainty that our solar system is very unstable. Our world in itself is very unstable. The balance is off. And something caused that. But we're not going to discuss Planet X. I don't want to discuss it because it don't matter. There's something out there coming this way. What it is, doesn't matter. It's going to wreak havoc. I don't care what name it has. It's not going to be a fun day. Okay, people? So, I also wanted to add to this article, when we talk about comets, these lying SOBs, it's NASA, claiming that comets are ice balls coming from the Oort cloud out there, past Pluto. But what makes a ice ball all of a sudden start approach and shooting towards the inner solar system? Something has to nudge it, right? What could that be? I don't really see how that's even possible. But they're not made of ice. They're actually an asteroid on a very elliptic orbit around the sun. Meaning 2 rocks has bumped into each other and one, like a pool table, has been thrusted in a completely different direction, meaning entry angle equals exit angle, just like a pool table. And then it starts its approach directly towards the sun. And when anything is approaching the sun, it picks up speed. And the faster and faster it goes, the more plasma behind it is built up. That is the tail. Had it been made of ice and dust, this bloody thing would be melted in no time. We know, according to NASA, on the sunny side of the moon, the temperature is over 200 degrees Celsius. And on the dark side of the moon, that is not facing the sun, we have absolute 0. So anything that is exposed, being of ice, and not protected by a magnetosphere like planet Earth, will melt. It will disintegrate. It will no longer be present. It will be gone. Comets are asteroids on an elliptic orbit around the sun. Period. And NASA knows that. I don't know why they keep perpetuating that lie. It's not insignificant, actually, to keep lying about this. Why don't they just come out and say, we made a mistake? Comets are not actually ice balls. They are actually rocks on an elliptic orbit around the sun. And that is the plasma exchange, the energy exchange between the sun and the approaching comet, asteroid, is creating a plasma plume behind it because electricity is built up, and vast amounts of electricity because the universe is electric, and something is grinding against the solar system, meaning making a disturbance, which is creating electricity and heat, creating plasma, the 4th state of matter. Period. There's no discussion here. It's not ice. And NASA knows that, as I said, because they had actually approached a so-called comet to examine it and find out its composition. And it was actually on live show. They were showing us everything, and then they cut the feed. Why? Because they found out, to their not surprise, that it was a rock. It is not ice. Period. A rock going on an elliptic orbit is losing some of its mass. but not enough to be disintegrated, unless it's a sudden dive. We have Halley's Comet. We also got Hale Bob, what showed up when my firstborn son was born in 1996. Those will return, and they have been around for a very long time. Again and again and again and again they come by. What is it, 76 years between Halley's Comet? I don't know Hale-Bopp. I think it's a little longer. But they keep coming back and back and back. I mean, they should have been disappeared already if they were ice, right? Or they fly out there in the vast distance of the sun, and then more ice is getting clinged to it. And we all know there is nothing out there except matter and antimatter. And the distances between stuff, matter, is vast. Distances are huge, astronomical. So it's not likely that this comet is flying out there and then it's accumulating some more ice and then it swings back around and then it comes in and whoa, big spectacle. That's not how it works. A comet is an asteroid on an elliptic orbit around the sun. Period. And NASA knows that, and I don't understand why the hell they're not just telling us. Makes no sense to me. So, 4.5 billion years ago. Of course you know the age of our solar system. You have no bloody clue, you idiots. This past March, Apophis, an asteroid nearly the size of 3 football fields, passed by Earth. It was approximately 10.4 million miles away from Earth and almost 44 times as far away as the Moon. So, asteroid Apophis is set to make another appearance close to Earth on April 13, 2029. That might be that one we are talking about. It could be the Wormwood, or it could be the other one. We don't know that. It could be it not hitting at all, or we being hit by something earlier. We don't know. They know, but they ain't gonna tell us. I'll come to that. Reports indicate a slight possibility that the Earth could impact Earth in 2029. It earned its nickname, God of Chaos, as a result. NASA has since said the planet is safe from asteroids for the next century. They don't know that. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Right? What was it I wanted to come to? Oh man, I lost my train of thought there. Boing! Just vanished. But we know that we will have 2 impacts according to scriptures. Wormwood that will turn water bitter. Right? Whatever that is, it's containing that will turn the water bitter, I do not know. But I do know that asteroids, smaller rocks, that is hitting the Earth's atmosphere, burning up in the Earth's atmosphere, many of those, or let's just say 99% of those, contains copious amounts of arsenic. Arsenic is colorless. Arsenic is tasteless. Arsenic is odorless. You don't know if you've been exposed to it, but you will fall ill from it. I do not know if arsenic mixed with water will turn the water bitter. I don't know that. Some asteroids are made of iron. One crashed into Greenland once, and that one is currently or permanently in the Danish National Museum in Copenhagen. It is a pretty sized rock. It's kind of like a boulder size. And that one is pure iron. Something like that I believe, could make water bitter, because iron rust, and rust is toxic. Iron in itself is not toxic, but the rust, when it turns red with rust, you do not want to ingest that. That's going to make you very, very sick. It will kill you. So don't do that. So a good reason why our water pipes are galvanized, to protect against rust corrosion. Also, something is added to the drinking water to prevent corrosion. If you're drinking that shit, you're drinking preservatives, or whatever you want to call it. Nice to know. So that's pretty much what I have to say about this, because there's another article underneath here. We don't need to do that one also. But you have to follow the link below in order to get the information that, unfortunately, ChinaTube will not allow being on anyone's channel. It's just what it is. But Mike from around the world is talking about next month. Small rocks are beginning to show up in the atmosphere. It's going to be something that will be noticed. It's going to be something that will be on people's minds. It will be daily talking points. It will kind of make, the other thing kind of get in the background, because we're also going to have some smaller impacts, such as, not exactly a million citizen city killers, but who knows? And such rocks, if they do hit ground, let's just say this one hits ground, and let's say it hits the west coast, the Pacific Ocean, that will be devastating for the west coast of the United States and Canada and South America and Mexico. But I'm mostly thinking about the shockwave it will create, setting off the big one, Cascade Fault Zone, which will supplant itself down through San Andreas Fault Line. And with the latest happenings in Mexico and South America with volcanic eruption, according to Mike from around the world, they are all connected to each other, and the stability and the existence of the west coast of the United States of America is hanging on a thread because of this recent activity in South America and in Mexico. So, having an asteroid hitting, according to Israeli Live News, Steve Ben-Nun, it's already on high level being discussed and also being mitigated. We actually have 3 rocks hitting straight for us. They are on collision course. You listening? They are on collision course. And they are big enough to create massive destruction. I'm not talking about a world-changing event, but if it landed in, let's just say, New York City, that city is gone, vaporized, gone, no survivors. That's the size rock we're talking about. That's the energy released from an impact. Oh, shut up! What are you barking at? Dogs. Your ears sometimes, I want to put a plug in your ear so you can't hear anything. You hear everything. Slight flu sound. Well, it's good to have dogs. They are early warning system. So, right now, the US Defense and I believe Space Force is involved in this, which, the redhead Saki was laughing away. Is there such a thing? Like making it a joke? Well, the government is a joke. Man, label to that feeble-minded person call himself president. What the hell is going on? It is embarrassing. So, they are in a mitigation program to either try to nudge it away or chip away of it so it by itself will take another approach that will skim the Earth instead of hitting the Earth. So that corroborates what Mike is talking about. The next month, beginning in next month, we are going to see an uptick, significant uptick in fireballs in the sky. And Steve Ben-Nun from Israeli Live News is telling us that 3 rocks traveling together in a cluster is heading straight for us. So I think there's a little panic going on in Washington and in the ranks of the military-industrial complex at this moment in time. The whole world's leaders, all of them know this is going on. But they're not telling you and I about it because they don't want us to panic and lose control. Because if they come out and say, hey, we got a rock to free football lanes going to crash into Earth here in 2 weeks, do you think anybody will go to work next morning? No. Do you think people will start looting, killing, act like zombies? Yeah. Because it is like this with humans. If they make their decisions based on fear, they become very irrational. And it can even be your own family members that turn on you because they become irrational. They can't handle the fact that they might get killed here in the next 2 weeks by an approaching asteroid. That's a very dangerous situation. And I actually agree with what John Moore was talking about, that he's been briefed and he was very mad to begin with, but he kind of got down the road and thought about it. Yeah, I understand why they don't say anything if something like this is going to take place. Let them live their life. Go to work, make money, pay the rent, make children, and die natural deaths. Or unnatural, like we saw in 2020. And which we are going to see much more of because of something I can't mention. Let them just do that. That would be the best. And if it happens, well, it happens. But life will go on after rebuilding. We have resilience. We will survive. We will get through it. But you cannot go out and tell the public, we have God of chaos heading our way. It's a giant rock. If it hits United States of America, most of you will die. You imagine the shockwave of fear that will supplant itself in the heartland and around the world, because they too will be affected by that. The whole world will. They're not going to be able to cope with that. It will be utter chaos, and there will be no order out of chaos. Even the military will simply just stand down, because even their life is at stake here. Not so much that bullets rain about their ears when they're in the battlefield. This is a completely different scenario. They don't know when the food chamber is empty. And they're going to go hungry to bed and starve to death. They don't know that. It's going to be a complete collapse on all levels. And the infrastructure, that's the code word for continuity of government, is also going to suffer from it. There will be internal disputes, because that is a game changer, being hit by something like that. Something you cannot stop, something you cannot mitigate. So, meanwhile, we are waiting on that. May I suggest you stop buying anything made in China? because I am pretty pissed tired and sick of it. Them and their cyber attacks on everybody for their military gain and for their just lack of respect for anything breathing. 30 nations has met together, and they're pretty pissed tired of China's cyber attacks and what the hell they think they're doing. We can crush this bloody, freaking, shitty regime in a week. And care not for how the people over there suffer from it. The people over there should have revolted and destroyed that communist regime long time ago. There are people enough to do so. Plenty of people. We are letting China step all over this planet and get away with what the heck they're doing. Everything they're doing, they're getting away with it. We can financially destroy them in a week. Don't buy anything made in China. Leave it on the shelves. You don't need it. And they don't need our money. And if you have to pay a couple of more dollars for something made in America, or, yeah, Mexico, that's okay. Do so. Screw China. F them. Seriously, F them. I've had enough of this. Why do we keep dealing with them? Why do we keep putting up with this crap from them? It's going to impact your daily life, what they're doing. Do you accept that? Do you think that's okay? I don't think so. Stop them. Stop buying their crap. Send them the message. You dismantle and you build up a democracy, not a tyranny, slavery system, or we will cancel you. Bye-bye, China. You're gone. They only have two options. That either submit to the demand from the world or go to war. And then they will have the whole world against them. And they will lose. They cannot win that one. There will be too many against them. Way too many. And they will keep coming. You only got 200 million men, China, in your army, your military. When they're gone, you've got nothing left. You want to use a nuclear option? Whatever. Then you annihilated yourself at the same time. The nuclear option is obsolete. But it's still a threat, such as Banana Republic, North Korea. That's something we need to be paying attention to. Because that man there, he's sick, or his sister. They're not right in their heads. There's something seriously wrong with them. And I am pretty sure they will not hesitate to attack whoever, whenever someone is annoying them. It would be the rest of the world is a housefly to North Korea. And any housefly moving in the wrong direction, they will fire a nuclear bomb on it. That's North Korea for you. Russia, China, America, I believe Iran, we will be using electronic warfare on a scale that will make you freaking pee your pants. It's based on Tesla technology. It's all about frequency. It is some nasty weapons. And they are in use today. Not on a global scale, but they are targeting individuals with this technology that is opposing the New World Order, which YouTube calls a conspiracy theory. That is ridiculous that they're doing that, because all these prominent politicians are boasting about it all the freaking way back to Hitler, even all the way back to Adam Weishaupt, the founder of Illuminati. We will foment a new world order in the form of revolution. That has echoed through the entire world up to this day. And they're still calling the same name. New World Order. You don't have to put a square underneath my video, YouTube. From Wikipedia, which is a lying sack of crock website that is against anybody who is a conservative or a Christian for that matter. They're not to be trusted. You should stay away from them. You funding them, supporting them, donating them money so they can exist. Close that account. Screw them. They're not working in your best interest. Trust me on that. Look into it. Follow the money. You will find out who they are, what they are. They're communists. It's that simple. So, that's it for today. Oh, they say the way to a man's heart is through his belly. What my wife made for me, she made me chili. And it tastes fantastic with a Texas brewed beer. This is a good beer, I'll tell you that. Yum yum. But my wife's cooking, yum 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 yum. So I just had that before I made this video. I'm full, I'm good, I feel good. I'm gonna give her a kiss for that. Another one, she had many. I'll never stop doing that. So over and out with some delicious food there. Beans and all kinds of goodies. Yum yum. Okay, over and out. Until next time, YouTubers, brothers and sisters, and enemies. Over and out.